I want you to imagine for a moment that the entire universe is conspiring in your favor, that every delay, every redirection, every moment of uncertainty is not an obstacle, but a blessing cloaked in disguise. Imagine that there is not a single atom, not a single breath you take, not a single step you walk that isn't being orchestrated for your highest good. Imagine that behind the curtain of appearances, behind what your senses report to you, everything is working out perfectly for you, even if it doesn't look like it. This is law. This is the truth that governs your entire life, whether you recognize it or not. What you assume to be true, what you believe with conviction, becomes the life you live. When you act as if everything always works out for you, you align with that law. You place yourself in harmony with the pattern of fulfillment. You walk, speak, and think from the end where the desired outcome has already happened. You do not ask how. You do not look for signs. You do not beg the universe. You simply dwell in the feeling of certainty, in the knowing that your reality bends to your assumption. There was once a woman who came to me, broken, defeated by life's apparent injustices. She said to me, "Neville, I have done everything. I have prayed, affirmed, visualized, but my life remains the same. What am I doing wrong?" And I said to her, "You are doing all these things from the standpoint of someone who lacks, who does not have, who hopes it will work out, but fears it may not. You must reverse it. You must act as if it has already worked out. You must feel the relief now. Live from the end." She began to take my words to heart. She stopped asking for change and began assuming the change had already occurred. She walked into rooms with a quiet confidence. She no longer waited for signs to believe. She believed first, and then the signs followed. The job came. The relationship improved. Her health transformed. But more than any of that, her inner world shifted. She lived in peace, in certainty, in power. You see, to act as if everything always works out for you is not arrogance. It is not delusion. It is the recognition of your divine inheritance. You are not some accidental product of chance. You are imagination itself, and imagination creates reality. Your world is your mirror. It reflects what you persistently assume to be true. What do you believe when things don't go your way? Do you spiral into fear? Do you assume failure? Or do you remember that appearances are only shadows cast by your inner light? I tell you, everything can change in an instant if you will. But assume it already has. You must feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must enter the state of the solution, not the problem. I have said before, and I will say it again, man is all imagination, and God is within you as your own wonderful human imagination. When you imagine that everything is working out for you, and you feel it deeply, you are speaking the language of God. You are commanding the world to take shape in your favor, and it must obey. It must. Do not be swayed by the evidence of your senses. Your senses show you what has been, not what must be. The moment you accept a new idea and clothe it in feeling, you have planted the seed. Whether or not you see immediate results is irrelevant. The seed is growing. And if you persist in the assumption that everything always works out for you, that seed becomes a tree, and that tree bears fruit. It is easy to believe when everything looks favorable. But the true power is found when you believe in spite of appearances. When the world says no, but your inner world says yes. When the bank account is low, but you walk as one who is already abundant. When the relationship seems lost, but you live from the state where love is already restored. How does one live like this, you ask? You begin with imagination. You close your eyes and see not with the eyes of flesh, but with the eyes of spirit. You imagine what it would feel like if you knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that everything was working out. You let that feeling saturate your being, and you carry it with you into the waking world. That feeling is the prayer. That feeling is the key, for feeling is the secret. Think of a time when something seemed to go wrong, but later you realized it was the best thing that could have happened. Think of the jobs you didn't get, the people who left you, the delays that frustrated you. All of them, in hindsight, were not mistakes. They were stepping stones. They were divine redirections. What if you could trust that in every moment? What if you could live from that trust now? The truth is, you already are the person who has everything working out. You already exist in that state. All states exist. Creation is finished. Your task is not to make something happen, but to select the state you desire and dwell in it. You move from one state to another by assumption, by conviction, by persistence. Every time you say to yourself, "It's always working out for me," you are reaffirming your place in that state. You are shifting your identity. You are becoming the one who lives in alignment with divine favor. And the world, being a faithful mirror, must show you what you assume. Let me remind you that it is not effort that brings about change. It is not struggle. It is not hours of laborious prayer. It is simply the acceptance of the end. If you can accept the end as real, now then the means will unfold naturally. Life will rearrange itself to reflect your inner world. What would you do if you knew that success was guaranteed? What risks would you take? What steps would you stop delaying? What words would you say? What love would you give? What dreams would you pursue? Act from that version of yourself. For that version is not a fantasy. It is you, clothed in courage and trust. You are not here to merely react to life. You are here to create it. You are here to mold it with your inner conversation. Listen to what you are telling yourself when no one is watching. Are you affirming the outcome you desire, or the one you fear? Change the conversation. Begin to speak only that which you want to see realized. No matter what the outer world says, you stand firm in your inner knowing. That is true power. Life responds to the dominant assumption. And when your dominant assumption is that everything always works out for you, then life has no choice but to conform. You are the author. You are the dreamer. You are not a victim of fate. You are a creator of form. And what you imagine in faith, you will encounter in fact. So go forth from this moment on, with the knowing that you are already on the path. Everything is unfolding perfectly. Trust that. Assume that. And act as if it cannot fail, because it cannot. You were never meant to struggle, to chase, to fight against the tide. You were meant to align, to allow, to assume with confidence and joy. Life becomes effortless when you live from the end. When you claim the feeling of already having that which you desire, the universe bends to your conviction. You are divine imagination. That is your true identity. And your world is clay in your hands. Mold it with love. Mold it with certainty. Mold it with the deep, unwavering knowing that everything is always working out for you.